And we are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Terry Kennedy, General Manager of Commercial for the Racing League, and it's an exciting moment for us in the life of the Racing League because in just a few moments' time, we'll take you live to the Gold Coast and the Magic Millions on the glittering Gold Coast for the announcement of who will be training your horses in the Racing League for the teams of New South Wales Tycoons, the Vic Hustlers, and also the Queensland Rogues. And then in the next week, once the sales kick off, we'll start building those teams by buying the yearlings at the Magic Millions. So we've got some of the country's best trainers standing by. I'm glad to say that the process was quite extensive. As I say, good morning to Steve Brown, the CEO of the Racing League. And Steve, it was an extensive process. And I've got to say we've been flattered because we asked the leading trainers or all trainers around the country to video pitch to our owners for the right to train their horses in the league. And I've got to say we were absolutely flabbergasted and flattered and impressed by what happened.
Yeah, we sure were. We didn't actually know how it was going to go. The Racing League is a first, and as part of the many firsts that are part of the Racing League, we actually turned it on its head and asked trainers to pitch to owners as opposed to the tradition where owners go to trainers. And you know, to see some of the best trainers in the country go to the efforts that they went to, some pretty humorous pictures in there as well, telling their stories. I think there was a lot of that which became apparent. You know, we got to learn about some of these trainers and it was really interesting, and it talks to, I guess, the momentum behind the Racing League and that these leading trainers, they recognise the need to enable racing to a much wider audience. And that's what the Racing League is about, premium horses in a competitive tribal environment. And we're really grateful to the support that we've received from the best trainers in the country.
No, it's been a big build-up. The countdown's been going for quite some time. So without any further ado, let's take you to a person who knows all about the thrills of micro-ownership in Channel 7 personality Liz Cantor. And because of the COVID restrictions, we're unable to be on the Gold Coast, but we are so lucky to have someone like Liz who enjoys that micro-ownership experience with My Runners, now hosting some of the leading trainers for the announcement of who will be training your horses in the initial season of the Racing League. Good morning, Liz, and thanks for your time.
Hello, everyone. Great to have your company, and a quick thank you to Racing Queensland for the use of their marquee for this historic announcement. Talk about my luck today, being thrown in the deep end with the top trainers in the country. Of course, being new to My Runners, I've been privy to learning about a lot of the Queensland trainers over the past 2 years. But this experience with the Racing League has really opened up my eyes to learning about trainers across the nation. And you were right, your comments on their pitch videos before. I mean, I work in the media industry. I was blown away. Some of the pitches were good enough to be features. Some were comedic. There were celebrity appearances. There was a bit of comedy from yours. Can you say for me inaugural, Trent?
Inaugural.
Oh, you got it right. He's back. But it's just been the most incredible opportunity to be immersed in My Runners, have that micro ownership. And I tell you, it doesn't matter how much of a horse you own, the thrill is still the same. But for me, it was more about walking the walk before talking the talk. Attending a lot of the race events with Channel 7, I wanted to know what really goes on behind the scenes, from the farriers to the trainers to the yearling sales to the vet reports. And having this experience gives you the weekly emails, the vet updates. It's just phenomenal in terms of introducing you to racing, or if you're a passionate racer, giving you that experience of ownership of a quality horse is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that many of us everyday Aussies could never afford. And then the Racing League takes it one step further into, if you've got a bit of a competitive nature, if you're a passionate Origins player, well then, nothing better to not only cheer on your horse, but cheer on your state. The Racing League is positioned to revolutionise the industry, smashing down the barriers to racehorse ownership and allowing all Australians the opportunity to own a share in not one, but 6 premium level thoroughbreds for only $200. So that's an incredible opportunity, and the demand is already all over the internet with people so excited to be given that opportunity. The Racing League's inaugural season will see the Queensland Rogues taking on the New South Wales Tycoons, the Vic Hustlers, and the Black Hearts from Western Australia. And I'm sure in no time I won't have to read those names. They'll be etched into memory. Each team will have 4 yearlings, 2 tried horses. So that's a total of 6 horses with a maximum salary cap of 2 million. So as Terry said to me when I was chatting to him the other day, bang for your buck straight off the bat with those tried horses. And each team will also have up to 6 trainers per team, and at least 2 of those trainers will have to be non-metro trainers. And I've really loved getting to meet them too and seeing, you know, our bush trainers and the salt of the earth that are doing the hard work, you know, out of the metro cities. And another first, as we mentioned, the leading trainers did submit their videos online. So if you haven't seen them yet, please do check them out. I mentioned there were celebrity cameo appearances. There was yours was like a feature film, Karen. That was it. Yours was like a documentary and history and everything you need to know about Australian racing, but they were just epic. So well done. Thank you so much for your efforts. We are up at the Magic Millions. We're in Queensland. Seeing as it's, you know, the #1 state, we may as well start with the Queensland announcement. I know your time, Paul. Thank you so much for coming here today. And for everyone tuning in, let's start with the announcement of our Queensland Rogue trainers. We've got, drumroll, Tony Gollan, 7 times premiership winner, Robert Heathcote of buffering fame, Toby and Trent Edmonds. And of course, Trent joins me now. They had Magic Million winner Hoatsome, Chris Anderson, he's really making his mark, Chris Muntz, legendary jockey, doesn't really need much of an introduction up here, and Michael Costa, who's a former steward and really becoming in the know. So what do you make of this team?
Pretty good bunch of trainers, you know, and to be fair, honoured to represent Queensland Rogues, you know, top trainers in Queensland, so we'll give it our best.
Trent, what do you think you've brought to, you know, your training stable, apart from a lot more winners on the books? Sorry, Toby.
Oh, look, well, sort of, I'm not going to say new and fresh ideas because everyone basically sort of trains the horses fairly similarly, but a little bit younger, and it's just a really good mix where my old man's been in the game a long time. Obviously, I'm just turned 30, so fairly young, connect with some sort of younger clients as well, and stuff like that. You know, it's basically just driving our communications and social media and all the rest of it, which is such an important part of the game these days.
And you can bring that cheek when you have learnt from the best. I imagine growing up, you know, the dinner conversations, the breakfast conversations, the birthdays, you've lived a lifetime of experience. So pretty cool to have that on the Queensland team. Yeah.
So, well, as I said, just turned 30. I've been arguing with him for a long time. Good, bad, indifferent. So, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
And you both share that love of horses, which is pretty cool. Any state in particular that you would like to beat if it comes down to the crunch?
Fella sitting right next to me, the Victorians.
Well, there you go. I know it seems like in the origin it's New South Wales versus Queensland, but I think very much in this league it's going to be Queensland versus Victoria with, like, you know, a little bit of camaraderie for New South Wales, which is unique. Talking about Victoria, let's introduce the Victorian Hustlers team. We've got Kieran Ma and David Eustace, needs no introduction. Lindsay Park, we've got Tom Dabinick and Ben Hayes, who dominated the Melbourne Cup recently. Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr., formerly of Caulfield. Peter Moody, he's very confused. I need to speak to that man. Matt Kamani, son of Luca. And of course, we don't have Francesca here for the Magic Millions this year. Hello, if you're watching, we miss you. Trent Busserton and Natalie Young, stack of winners out of Cranbourne. So, Kieran, thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are so busy at the moment. What do you make of this Victorian team?
No, it's a pretty good lineup. Yeah, Price and Kent, they're obviously I train alongside them at Caulfield. You know, Peter Moody's trained, you know, some of the best horses in the world. And Busserton Young, you know, they're really going places and expanding pretty quickly. So, no, it's a really good team, and looking forward to taking on the boys.
Peter Moody renouncing his Queensland origins to go and put himself forward to Victoria, and they select him. I mean, what is he thinking?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, he's been in Melbourne a long time, and he's just going to have to I don't know.
Prove himself.
Yeah, he'll have to get off the Forex for a little bit.
You're on to the VBs, mate. Sorry. You're going to have over 10,000 new owners within your stable. Does that really sink in, the opportunity to speak to these people for the first time, perhaps?
Yeah, well, it hasn't really sunk in, but it's really exciting. And just chatting with you before and your experiences in the ownership and learning all about the industry right from the start, from like sort of today, the sales all the way through to the racetrack, and then hopefully the winner's circle. It's, just chatting to you, it's such a cost-effective way of getting in, and really looking forward to meeting all the people, and I'm sure we'll have a good time and a lot of winners, and hopefully knock off the other couple of states.
Well, as well as the competition, I think what makes racing so special is the personalities. It's the personality of the horses, the personality of the owners, but also the personality of the trainers. I've learned through my micro ownership is just so different. So it's so unique to be able to get all these different trainers' feedback and videos and watch how it's done. And I think that also adds to the excitement when you see the success of the horse, what the different background and approach, personality, hands-on, hands-off observation has been. So to have a mix of trainers in these teams will be even more exciting, because it'll be a culmination of all these great minds behind the scenes. So very, very exciting. Let's get on to New South Wales Tycoons, Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. Adrian will be speaking to you in just a moment of Tulloch Lodge success. Michael and Richard Freeman, stables at Randwick and Rosehill. Joe Pride, he's elite in the Sydney ranks. Mark Newham. Did I say that right? He's in demand. I'm running through this. I'm getting a bit nervous. Kim Waugh, remarkable success of late, and Brett Kavanagh, who won the Kosciuszko with It's Me. So that's really cool to have them all involved. Adrian, you're coming into this with much excitement.
Yeah, that's obviously fantastic opportunity. I'm very, very thankful for the opportunity, and really looking forward to, I guess, bringing new owners into the game is a difficult aspect, and we're always looking for new ways to do that. I guess speaking to any of the trainers here today, I think would all agree that finding new owners and trying to attract ownership is probably the most difficult part of our job, and finding new ways to have that reinvestment is the best thing that we need for the industry. So it's a fantastic opportunity in that sense.
Yes, and it must recreate passion as well as people live this experience for the first time. Talking about for the first times, do you have a preference to yearlings or tried horses? What are you looking forward to in this experience?
Look, I think we've obviously had great success with either type, but out of this particular, we've had great success out of this particular sale. So I guess sort of going for the yearling purchases, we like to target the 2-year-old types, educating those horses and watching them develop. I guess that's sort of a passion that we have, and as trainers, and being able to develop them through their career and identify them early. So that's probably the preference that we have, and where we've enjoyed probably the most of our success, I'd say.
Another thing I must mention is a shout out to Mick Pope, who's doing some of the purchasing for the Racing League. His insights with his videos that he sends through, even pre-purchase to the yearlings, are so informative and so interesting. And it's incredible to see, the passion not only on track, but within the breeding community as well, of what they're creating out there and the opportunity for these incredible athletes. Last but not least, and it really doesn't need a mention in these days, that 2 of your 6 trainers, females, and the queen of racing amongst you. Is it just one for all for one in there now?
Oh, look, it's I think it's important to see in the industry on all levels the female involvement, and obviously huge success there. We've seen that in the training ranks. Obviously, Gay's led the way there. Young trainers such as Annabelle Neesham, who spent plenty of time under Kieran's, come out very successful in her own right early days, and even on the jockey front, some of our best jockeys in the industry are female jockeys. So I think it's a pattern that we're going to continue to see that success, and I'm very fortunate to be involved in. One of the leading runners there in that sense.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible times. And I think, we'll see this Saturday at Magic Millions Race Day. I would not be surprised if one of the female jockeys crosses the line in first place. So you watch Steph, she'll be my tip. With WA having their summer group carnival along with Christmas and New Year's celebrations, the trainer pitching period for the Black Hearts has been extended. And with the WA team, they will be announced on Monday, February 15th. So make sure you stay with us to hear that announcement. As I mentioned, you guys are super busy at the moment. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your time in tuning in to this historic announcement. And we really look forward to giving you such a great run with the Racing League and your ownership experience.
Liz Cantor, we thank you so much for that. You proved yourself to be a champion on the World Surfing Tour, and you certainly has proved yourself to be a champion again up there at the Magic Millions. So we thank you so much for that. We also thank Trent Edmonds, Kieran Maher and Adrian Bott for joining us for what has been a long time coming, a historic announcement, very, very exciting times. And I feel like it's like the Origin teams being announced for the first time, or the grand finalists being announced for their sides, because it is exciting what's unfolding here, and they are good looking teams. I think we'll get the feedback from our owners, no doubt, because we value everyone's opinion. And remember, you voted for these trainers as well, but they are good looking sides, and the excitement's there in the voice, and we've got exciting times ahead, Steve Brown.
We do. That is a good, the three really good sides. There's no doubt about that. We're pretty proud of what's come together. But it's only part of it. And it now goes to that next stage where we've got to match the quality of the trainers with the quality of the horses. And the team has been out pounding the pavement for the last month, seeing thousands of horses, and it all starts tomorrow. So we'll be in touch. It's about to get pretty exciting from acquiring the horse flesh that matches up to the quality of the trainers that are in the three teams.
Yeah, we look forward to it immensely. And what we'll do is, just in case you've joined the coverage late, we'll whip through these sides and we'll have a good look at them. The Queensland Rogues was the first side announced this morning. And when you have a look at this team, I think we've got all bases covered as far as the 6 horses, which means the 4 yearlings. We'll start those purchases at the Magic Millions this week, and the 2 tried horses. But when you have a look at it, Tony Gollan, 7-time champion trainer up there, Rob Heathcote, of course, Trent and Toby Edmonds, who are based on the Gold Coast, Chris Anderson really making his mark, along with the likes of Michael Costa. And you've got Chris Muntz as well, one of those handful of jockeys who won all the big races in this country, the big 4, as we say, but also making his mark as a trainer. So good looking Queensland side, I hate to say.
Yeah, it is. It's arguably, I'll let others be the judge, but it's arguably the best side there. Importantly for us and for what we're trying to deliver people, they're all excellent communicators. We want people to be taken inside their camp, inside, understanding, get really close to the individual horses in their stable. Queensland's manager, Steve Morley, is massive on communication, and it's become a non-negotiable plank of the racing industry now. And yeah, we can assure people that there'll be not only quality trainers there, but also the communication standards that come with these guys.
And we'll have a look at that's the Queensland side. So Anderson, Muntz, Costa, Heathcote, Edmonds, and also Tony Gollan. It is a good looking side, but personally, I'm hoping New South Wales Tycoons can get the job done with the 6 trainers we've come up to with. And I think Gai Wardhouse, Adrian Bott, and Adrian, who joined us in the coverage from the Gold Coast. You've got Michael and Richard Friedman, again, winners on the weekend, over as a family, close enough to 170 Group 1 victories. Joe Pride, of course, out of Warwick Farm. Mark Newnham, again, a winner on the weekend and heading in the right direction. Kim Moore, training out of Wyong and also her property. And you've got the very, very colourful, I've got to say, and large Brett Kavanagh, who'll be out of Scone. I imagine it will be a country championship horse we'd be looking for, a highway horse, or
quite possibly. Yeah. There's a number of options there, and Brett's obviously shown he can do anything, pulling off the big Kosciuszko on Everest Day. You go through those guys individually, and as TK said, that they're pretty hot at the moment. They're a form side, and it's important that we're getting behind trainers that are on the rise. And you look where even Michael and Richard Friedman have exploded in the last 24 months. Joe Pride, I think he had a treble the other day. Mark Newnham is arguably the star of the rising star of Australian racing, and Kim Moore just keeps doing it. She had that big winner on Everest Day as well. And I think they're really excited about getting expensive horses in their stable, premium level horses in their stable, and that's going to be it's a two-way play here. the trainers are really excited about being a part of this and changing the game. And we hope that all the owners are excited about being part of a bit of a revolution in the racing industry.
So that's the Queensland race. We've introduced the New South Wales Tycoons. Time to recap the Vic Hustlers, and there'll be some controversy regarding this one because of a very, very famous Queenslanders in there, and a bloke called Peter Moody, of course, had a pretty handy horse called Black Caviar. And Pete's video pitch was outstanding, I've got to say, with AFL legend and Brownlow medalist and Shane Crawford. So if you haven't seen it, log on. Even if you're not a Victorian, log on and have a look. So you've got Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace, Peter Moody we've spoken about, Lindsay Park, which is Ben Hayes and Tom Dabinick, Matt Kamani, Mick Price and Michael Kent, who got a pretty good rap from Kieran Maher, Trent Busserton and Natalie Young, who were Kiwis. Okay, I've got to say, Kiwi born, fell in love over there at the track at Kranji in Singapore, and of course are now back training out of Cranbourne. But they're another one of this dynamic duos really who are on the rise.
They sure are on the rise, aren't they? And the new Lindsay Park, they're alongside Trent and Natalie, they're very much on the rise. They're hungry. Matt Kamani, hungry, great communicator. We're going to see. I'm sure there'll be someone out there that makes a market in this, but when you look at that big side, Ma, Moody, Lindsay Park, Kamani, Price, Kent, Busserton and Natalie Young. I don't know. It'd be very interesting to see if there was a market on an early market on who's going to win this title, because that is a red hot side. And
don't forget about the WA Blackhearts as well. As Liz mentioned to you, trainers for the Blackhearts will be announced. That's going to be on February 15, just with their summer carnival, their Group 1 carnival. Then Christmas and New Year sort of punched a bit of a hole in getting the pictures, but we're up and going. The pictures are now in. We are rolling them out. And we'll make that trainer announcement on February 15 for the WA Blackhearts. And of course, they'll be in that market as well. And I guess while it's probably not delving into it completely, all these sides will be completing in the Premiership starting from March. And the Premiership winners will be announced. It's going to be on Everest Caulfield Cup Day. Got to get used to this 2022. So it's your first 12 months for the Racing League is actually close enough to at least 18 months. Yeah,
no, that's right, mate. Yeah, well, I think the Blackhearts bring a really exciting aspect to the league. You only have to watch their racing. We've got the best race caller in the country, arguably. It's an exciting racing environment, and we'll all see our horses racing during the East Coast time afternoon, and then there'll be Blackhearts racing in the afternoon, the late evening. It's going to be hard to not be totally engrossed by the sport when this is all up and running. And as of tomorrow, she's on
the horses. I guess obviously Mick Malone has done a fantastic job travelling around, looking at all the yearlings, making his book. He's got a short list, but for the Racing League, but not so short, is it? This looks like it's going to be a very, very, well, it's always a very good quality sale, but I think Mick's pretty impressed by what he's seen travelling all over the country, looking at all these yearlings.
Yeah, he is. That's the feedback. Mick's delivering some pretty amazing ownership outcomes for micro ownership through My Runners for years now, and I think those results speak for themselves. But he's saying this sale is probably never seen as many quality opportunities as they're seeing right now. So we're working pretty hard on that short list. There's a real process involved, which we'll take you through. It is, this is the first sale of a number of sales this year, and we want to take the investment of your money really seriously. So there is a process. There is valuations put on each horse that we're going to target. If they go too much money, we're going to walk because this is your money, and we take that responsibility quite seriously. So. It's an exciting stage. It's a serious stage, and it's about to all start to unfold maybe tomorrow.
So keep an eye on TRL TV on a daily basis. We'll be keeping you up to date. There may well be live coverage from the Magic Millions as well about horses that we are bidding on, and hopefully walking away with a stack of horses. I don't know whether we're divulging numbers or not.
We just don't know, because it all depends on the valuations and prices. So.
And another exciting part about buying horses at the Magic Millions is that you'll see this on Saturday, this coming Saturday. There's $10 million up for grabs. So you can only race for that prize money as an owner if your horse has been bought at the Magic Millions. So that's another one of these bonuses of why we're concentrating on this Magic Million sale come this week. So it is exciting times. TRL TV. So we'll give you a report on all horses that are purchased. We'll recap those horses that are purchased. You'll find out about it, if not live, very, very shortly after your horses are bought. And then, of course, they go into a draft. Just to explain that. So they'll go into a draft, and within a couple of weeks, we'll be asking you to get involved in that NBA, AFL, NBL sort of draft process, and you'll be selecting your own horses for the New South Wales Tycoons, the Vic Hustlers, and also the Queensland Rogues.
That's right. Yeah, it's
so we don't pick the horses.
No, it's another really important stage. So whatever we buy here, we'll allocate. You guys will be given the opportunity to vote via the draft as to which horses you want to select in your team. We'll draw it out of the hat as to who gets first pick in the draft, which could prove telling. And those whatever horses are acquired at Magic Millions will be allocated into the teams within. Then we're trying to do that before the end of the month. That will be in contact around that. But that is a critical stage, and ball's in your court.
Yep. So again, thanks very much. I'm pretty sure as owners, we'd appreciate your feedback too throughout all the social media channels about your team and your list of trainers. They are very, very, I think we've got all the leading trainers around the country pretty much covered there. Some exciting characters coming your way for the WA Black Arts as well. Keep an eye on TRL TV as well. We'll give you a daily wrap up around that 5 o'clock mark. It will be available every day from the Magic Millions about the action that we've been involved with, the horses that have been bought for you as owners of the Racing League, and also they'll go into the draft, and that'll be from 5 o'clock every day apart from the individual report. So on behalf of Steve Brown, the CEO of the Racing League, Liz Cantor, who did a terrific job for us up there on the Gold Coast at the Magic Millions, and our trainers who gave of their time, in fact, they're your trainers who gave of their time, Trent Edmonds from the Edmonds camp, Kieran Marr and Adrian Bott, we thank them. Thanks again. Hopefully you're happy with your sides. We look forward to your feedback.